Why do we do the things we do when we try to help people? Why do we help people at all? That's a good question. Because are we motivated to really make their lives better, or are we doing it just for ourselves? And that's interesting, because if we said we help people and we're kind to people and we do the right thing because we're just doing it for our own selfish gain in some way, then you could say that's not really fair, that's disingenuous. You're trying to show that you care and you're selfless, but you're really totally selfish. But then at the same time, if we said that we help people because we just want to do what's right for them at our own expense, then we're idolizing the idea of selfless sacrifice without any desire to get anything out of it. And that's not really noble either. Just saying that I value everyone else's life more than my own doesn't sound very virtuous to me. It sounds stupid. That's like nature saying, let me destroy myself to save myself. Let's burn down the forest so that we can save the forest. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to sacrifice your own joy, your own happiness, your own welfare, your own profit so that you can give it to somebody else. And yet you would assume that they should live by the same standard as you. And if they did that, then they would just take everything they got and give that away too. It kind of just is a race to nothing. It's a competition to zero. It's this continual virtue signaling of saying, I'm going to prove how sympathetic I am to other people, how charitable I am, and I will just prove my worth by proving and demonstrating that I'm worthless. It just doesn't really make much sense. So there's kind of a duality there, as with pretty much all things. If you are selfish because you believe you're worthless, that just shows you have no self-esteem. Whereas if you are helpful and you have a life filled with acts of service, but the only reason you're doing it is for yourself, then you're just a narcissist wearing a mask. You have to be something that's a bit in between, and I call that enlightened self-interest. That is to live for yourself. You try to get ahead, but you also look for opportunities to create a tide that lifts all ships, because you understand that the best way to selfishly get ahead is by serving others and caring for others and having a genuine desire to invest in their potential as well as your own. That's the happy medium. Maybe it's realizing that you're not going to live forever. So all the things that you accumulate in life, whether it's wisdom or physical things, you want to give those to other people. You want to find somebody that's going to inherit what you worked to accomplish in your life. Someone who will gain your wisdom when you go to the grave. Somebody that will be a steward of your inheritance when it's your turn to die. So you would celebrate that success of others because you're looking for people who will carry on when your turn is up, when you're done. We realize that when we invest in the happiness and welfare of other people, we can also get a abundance of joy in return, because they then have cause to invest in us also. And that's an alliance. That's mutual investment in mutual benefit. And that boils down to the difference between an alliance and an acquisition. It's the difference between treating someone as an equal and treating them as property. Nobody wants to be a slave. Nobody is going to get a sense of joy out of somebody who acts like they're there to help. They're always there to be this positive force of good. But at the core of it, they're not really fully aware of why they're doing what they're doing, other than just trying to get ahead for themselves, or because they think that doing good is just kind of what you're supposed to do. When somebody really truly believes in you, and they really truly respect you, and they really view your success as an extension of their own success, and they don't sacrifice their success or their happiness for yours, but they actually share without losing anything, kind of like how a candle can light another candle without giving up any of its own light. That's the kind of relationship that's really rewarding and really amazing. But life is filled with people who are tricking themselves and tricking other people, because they do things, and on the surface those things are all about caring for others, but really the motive is rooted in ignorance. It's that selfishness of saying, I want other people to recognize me and validate me and help me feel like I'm worth more. Or it's that overwhelming sense of being worthless that is leading people to compensate by looking for ways to get other people's appreciation. And that's like licking sore wounds. It's just not appealing. And it's interesting when you are around people who have these weaknesses, if you will, of character. You see people all the time who are doing this, and it's interesting because you get this feeling that they're doing nice things, but you don't like the spirit behind what they're doing. And you know it when you see it. It's kind of like something that's just poor workmanship, poor craftsmanship. You don't have to be a master carpenter to know when you see a chair that was built with really, really poor standards by somebody who isn't a carpenter versus something that's immaculate. You can tell when something is good and when something isn't, even if you don't know why, or you can't put your finger quite on the technicals of what it is you're sensing. You can tell. And so it's important as we engage with other people and we do all the different things we do in our lives, that we don't just do good because we think we're supposed to do good things so that we can be good people, and don't do good just so that you can be seen doing good and get kudos or credit. There's no value or virtue in this trend of people trying to do things so that they can get likes on TikTok or something. That's ridiculous. And I see it all the time. We all do, I'm sure. It's crazy. There's so many people that are just doing little stunts so they can get likes, so that people will recognize them and appreciate them. And that desire for attention is extremely unappealing. Somebody who will go out of their way to appear to be a saint just so they can get attention is not the kind of a person you would want in your life. It's fake, and it's not kind, it's not good. So we need to really focus and soul search and ask ourselves, why are we doing the things that we're doing? Are we doing it because we really truly believe in what we're doing? Or are we doing it just because it feels like the socially advantageous thing for us to be doing? Or because we're trying to make up for some kind of insecurity? And if it's one of the latter, then we just need to stop it. It's okay to just live for yourself. And then when the time comes and you actually see the opportunity to truly invest in other people in a way that's meaningful to them and also beneficial to you, then take those opportunities. And that comes from the heart, and it's something that you can really get behind. It's backed by real fundamentals, and people can tell. I mean, I'll tell you, the times when I have been the most impressed by others have not been times when people have given me something for free or tried to go out of their way to help me for no reason. That just makes me not trust people. But when somebody really goes out of their way to invest in my success, and I know that the reason they're doing that is because they truly get a sense of value out of having me in their life, well, that's very meaningful, especially if it's somebody who I respect because they're a person of substance and stature and they have character to back themselves up with. So we shouldn't be sacrificing ourselves just for the sake of it, and we shouldn't be trying to get other people to give us praise just because we're addicted to trying to get likes or trying to get attention or trying to get people to jump on our bandwagon. What you do at the end of the day should be something that's worth doing, whether people are watching or not. It's like a good company. Whether a good company has an amazing advertising campaign to promote itself or not, if it has really good fundamentals, you don't really need an amazing department that makes commercials. People are always going to buy Wrigley chewing gum and underwear. I don't know about crypto or whatever the newest thing that they're talking about in AI is, or whatever kind of new trends there are out and about. Those will come and go. Maybe they will be great, maybe not. Who knows? But the basic things, the things that people have known, the world may change a lot over the next 10 or 20 years, but people are still probably going to be drinking Coca-Cola. Probably. So when you think about what's important in life, it's kind of the same with relationships. The things that really matter are timeless. They're principles that endure. Good character and respect for people. And if you do good, you don't need to be looking for attention. You don't need to put yourself on a pedestal. You can just invest in things that seem like they're worth investing in. You can do it quietly, you can do it privately, and you will change people's lives just by living your life and allowing other people to share in your experience. Till next time, thank you for watching.